There is an imminent crackdown from the G20 countries on cryptocurrencies. By the end of this video, you'll be an expert in the G20's history, India's recent roadmap, and what this all means for the ever-evolving crypto market. Let's jump right in. The G20's role and origins. Let's take a quick look at the G20 itself. The Group of 20, or G20, stands as the premier international economic cooperation forum. This assembly of 19 major economies, along with the European Union, represents a staggering 85% of the global GDP and 2/3 of the world's population. What's fascinating is that the G20 was born out of economic turmoil, the Asian financial crisis of 1999 to be precise. It was initiated by the finance ministers of Canada and the United States, and its roots trace back to the G7, an even more exclusive club formed in response to the oil crisis in the 70s. The evolution of G20's influence. Since its inception, the G20 has undergone significant transformations. Initially composed of finance ministers and central bank governors, its role expanded after the 2008 financial crisis to include the heads of state from each member country. However, unlike other international organizations, the G20's discussions are held behind closed doors, a measure deemed necessary for candid and open discourse, as explained by former Canadian Prime Minister Paul Martin, a co-founder of the G20. Presidency and the Troika. So, who's steering the ship? The presidency of the G20 rotates annually among member countries. This role, supported by the Troika, ensures a smooth transition of leadership and policies. The Troika consists of the past, current, and future presidency-holding countries, their collective wisdom guiding the forum's direction. Keep in mind that this Troika influence can significantly shape the policies G20 presidencies attempt to implement. G20's stance on crypto. Now, let's turn our attention to the heart of the matter, the G20's stance on cryptocurrencies. Just as the diverse member countries have varied opinions on various subjects, crypto is no exception. To illustrate, during Germany's G20 presidency in 2017, there was a notable absence of hostility towards the crypto industry. Fast forward to recent times, and the G20 nations are about to tighten the reins on digital currencies as revealed in India's crypto regulation roadmap. India's crypto regulation roadmap. India, the current G20 president, has laid out a comprehensive roadmap for crypto regulations. With its finger on the pulse of this rapidly evolving market, India promises a focused approach to crypto during its term. This development has ignited curiosity. How will these regulations impact the crypto landscape, and could their effects be felt before India's presidency ends in the autumn? Implications for the crypto market. The burning question on everyone's minds, what does this all mean for the crypto market? The impending crackdown by the G20 countries, led by India's initiative, introduces an element of uncertainty into an already dynamic arena. As the regulatory landscape shifts, it's essential to anticipate the potential ramifications on crypto enthusiasts, traders, and investors worldwide. Will these measures boost confidence in the market or create ripples of uncertainty? The G20, once conceived to address economic crises, now holds sway over pivotal issues like the future of cryptocurrencies. With India at the helm, the crypto market braces for change, leaving us to ponder the ripple effects of these decisions. The shifting tides of G20's crypto stance. Cast your mind back to 2018, Argentina took the reins of the presidency, and while the nation's citizens leaned toward crypto, the government's approach was less welcoming. The specter of US-affiliated entities, like the IMF, likely played a role in Argentina's shift. Interestingly, the crypto industry's uphill battle in 2018 coincided with a bear market, which might have fueled the G20's cautious demeanor towards the crypto landscape. Remarkably, the issues raised by the G20 back then, global taxes, regulations, and more, resonate eerily with today's discourse. The Japan factor and a changing landscape. A sudden change of heart swept across the G20 in 2019 when Japan stepped into the presidency role. Japan's pro-crypto sentiment likely contributed to the organization's newfound openness. However, concerns about stablecoins, mainly prompted by Facebook Libra's announcement, emerged as a key focal point that year. It's worth noting that the unveiling of Libra acted as a catalyst for governments worldwide to start taking the crypto industry more seriously. 2020 and beyond, a mix of neutrality and shifts. The neutral stance on crypto carried over into 2020 under Saudi Arabia's leadership, a surprising continuation considering the country's historical reservations about cryptocurrencies. Curiously, Saudi's central bank began exploring crypto legalization even as Binance set up shop on its soil. Italy's G20 presidency in 2021 maintained the organization's neutral approach toward crypto. However, the wind of change blew through when Indonesia took the reins in 2022. The country's former anti-crypto stance shifted as it dove into crypto-friendly territory, even launching its own national crypto exchange. India's G20 presidency and geopolitical motivations. Enter India, the G20's current president. This year, the spotlight is on India's stance on cryptocurrencies, which aligns with countries like Indonesia's past anti-crypto sentiments. India has taken a proactive role in pushing for global crypto regulations, citing its focus on crypto as a key aspect of its G20 presidency. The motivation behind this stance is geopolitical in nature, as India seeks to strengthen its ties with the United States. Given the US's cautious stance toward cryptocurrencies, India's approach might be an attempt to forge a harmonious alliance. From the initial acceptance in Germany to the apprehension in Argentina, the intrigue in Japan, and the evolving attitudes of nations like Saudi Arabia, Italy, and Indonesia, each presidency has left its mark on the crypto landscape. With India at the helm, steering towards a focus on global crypto regulations, the stage is set for further transformation. A closer look at G20's objectives. As we try to understand the G20's intentions, a compelling revelation emerges from Business Today, a reputable India media outlet. One of the G20's central objectives is to forge a new international financial architecture, and in this grand tapestry, crypto poses a potential threat. The crux of the matter lies in the transformation of the crypto landscape. Once a small niche used by a handful of enthusiasts, cryptocurrencies now boast a massive underbase, numbering in the hundreds of millions. Simultaneously, national currencies in various regions are experiencing turmoil, prompting governments to expedite the establishment of their revamped financial systems. G20 and the collaborative organizations. To accomplish their financial restructuring, G20 countries are enlisting the aid of several influential international organizations, often referred to as unaccountable and unelected. These include the Bank for International Settlements, BIS, also known as the Bank for Central Banks. The BIS is at the forefront of promoting global central bank digital currency (CBDC) systems. Intriguingly, this institution is among the quartet of organizations closely advising the G20 on crypto and CBDC matters. The other three entities are the Financial Stability Board (FSB), the International Monetary Fund (IMF), and the Financial Action Task Force (FATF). Guiding influences FSB and MIF. The FSB's prominence in shaping global crypto regulations is underscored by its role in penning the incoming regulations. These recommendations are poised to extend across every G20 nation, transcending borders and enacting uniformity. However, it's important to note that the FSB's suggestions remain voluntary in nature, a testament to the complex interplay of global governance. IMF's conditions and impact. Turning our attention to the IMF, we uncover a noteworthy pattern. The IMF's loans to developing nations come accompanied by conditions that inadvertently align these nations with the interests of the United States and its allies. A prime example emerges from Argentina, where an IMF loan brought with it conditions that sought to discourage crypto adoption. The IMF's influence, though wielded indirectly, reveals the interconnectedness of geopolitical dynamics and crypto policies. FATF's authority and geopolitical motivations. Among these international actors, the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, stands as the organization with the most tangible authority. With its teeth metaphorically gnashing, the FATF poses the ability to isolate countries that resist compliance with its guidelines, effectively cutting them off from the global financial system. Pakistan and Kuwait recently bowed to the FATF's pressure, instituting crypto bans in their respective nations. The United Arab Emirates also faced the FATF's scrutiny, finding itself on the organization's gray list due to its pro-crypto inclinations. India's key role and G20's crypto roadmap. In the midst of this complex interplay, India's G20 presidency assumes a pivotal role, with a roadmap titled Presidency Note as an input for a roadmap on establishing a global framework for crypto assets. India's influence reverberates across the crypto landscape. The roadmap divulges that the FSB's global crypto regulation recommendations, initially concentrated on stablecoins, were published in October 2020. This focus on stablecoins stems from concerns over Facebook's Libra and its potential to rival domestic currencies. The evolution of G20's stance. While the Italian presidency of 2021 maintained a neutral stance on crypto, merely seeking validation of the FSB's recommendations, a crucial shift was evident in 2022 under Indonesia's leadership. The G20's crypto stance seems to be tilting toward greater scrutiny and regulation, a sentiment driven by many geopolitical, financial, and technological influences. We find ourselves at a juncture where power dynamics, financial interests, and global governance converge. The G20's evolving stance on crypto, coupled with the role of international organizations, paint a vivid picture of the many forces shaping the crypto landscape. As India's presidency unfolds against this backdrop, we're witnessing the orchestration of policies that could redefine the future of crypto on a global scale. The unfolding crypto landscape. The Financial Action Task Force, under the Indonesian presidency, expanded its scope of crypto regulations, collaborating with other international organizations, such as the BIS. The FSB's efforts included data collection and collaboration with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, to establish global crypto tax rules, yet another facet of the complex web woven by these organizations. G20 economies crypto regulations. The Annex also shines a spotlight on the crypto regulations already in place within G20 economies. Notably, the EU, Japan, and the UK have introduced their own frameworks, potentially indicating a deviation from the G20's unified stance. This divergence underscores the reality that not all countries will align perfectly with the envisioned global crypto regulations. The question looms, will the FATF's authority successfully align these countries, especially considering their close ties with the United States? The G20's crypto history and the roadmap. The roadmap itself embarks on a journey through the G20's history, highlighting its long-standing involvement in shaping global crypto regulations. The authors emphasize that this document serves to inform an upcoming paper jointly published by the FSB and IMF. The paper's final form will be influenced by the G20's perspective, paving the way for the future landscape of global crypto regulations. FATF's Compliance Roadmap. The authors disclose that the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF, finalized a compliance roadmap in February 2023, just before the crypto regulations in Pakistan and Kuwait. The roadmap outlines steps taken by FATF members and countries with significant virtual asset activity to regulate and supervise virtual asset service providers. This serves as a signal that the FATF's influence is gaining momentum, gradually reshaping the global crypto landscape. The pursuit of global collaboration. However, the authors also acknowledge the challenges that arise due to inconsistent implementation of regulations worldwide. The reference to greater global collaboration to prevent policy arbitrage hints at the push for unity and standardization in the realm of crypto regulations. This serves as a reminder that G20 countries are navigating a complex path of balancing national interests with global collaboration. Focus areas and flexibility. The roadmap identifies three key areas of focus: safeguarding macroeconomic and financial stability, providing investor education and protection, and promoting technological development and financial innovation. Yet, in translating these goals, the authors note that flexibility is key, a term that leaves room for interpretation and adaptation as circumstances evolve. Action points for IMF and FSB. Transitioning into actionable steps, the authors propose several points for inclusion in the forthcoming IMF and FSB paper. Foremost, the implementation of the FSB's global crypto regulations stands as a primary goal. This implementation will likely be coordinated with assistance from various international organizations, with the FATF emerging as a prime candidate. A detailed crypto framework. Another pivotal point centers on the creation of a comprehensive crypto framework tailored for developing countries. The IMF, as a key player in global finance, is poised to undertake this task. The implications are profound given the IMF's role in ensuring compliance by linking these rules to loans for developing nations. Global outreach and scrutiny. The authors emphasize the need to disseminate information about global crypto regulations across all nations, focusing on jurisdictions with higher crypto adoption rates and active crypto exchanges. This not only points toward the potential targeting of pro-crypto regions, but also foreshadows heightened scrutiny and regulation in the times ahead. The threads of geopolitical influence, financial interests, and technological innovation intertwine to shape the course of the crypto landscape. The roadmap's unveiling underscores the delicate balancing act between unity and divergence as G20 countries wrestle with the dual challenge of safeguarding national interests and fostering a collaborative global environment. Upcoming G20 presidencies. As we anticipate the upcoming G20 presidencies, a significant shift is on the horizon. Brazil's ascendancy next year, followed by South Africa, ushers in a turning point. The common thread connecting these countries lies in the BRICS alliance, a consortium including Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. With a shared inclination toward exploring unified digital currencies and even commodity-backed alternatives, the BRICS nations might infuse the G20 sentiment with renewed positivity toward crypto. The potential pivot point. This positive trajectory is poised to continue under South Africa's leadership in 2025. As these nations embrace crypto and blockchain technology, the ripple effect on the broader G20 agenda could be bullish for the crypto market. A critical juncture in 2026. However, a cautionary note sounds for the year 2026. The joint statement from the US and Indian governments foreshadows a US G20 presidency and administration potentially aligned with anti-crypto sentiments. This alignment raises concerns, especially if the current administration maintains its position. Under a US G20 presidency, the crypto industry could face increased scrutiny and regulation. Coinciding with projections of an impending crypto bear market, the confluence of events in 2026 might lead to challenging times for the crypto landscape. Emergence of influential entities. In contemplating the long-term trajectory of crypto, we find that its fate is intertwined with the attitudes of various entities, G20, BRICS, and more. As influential bodies like BRICS gain traction, the once dominant influence of the G20 might wane. The crypto industry's trajectory could hinge on the attitudes of these emerging entities, shaping the landscape in unforeseen and transformative ways. That concludes the G20's dance with crypto, international organizations, and their interplay that shapes the crypto landscape. Until our next journey together, stay informed, stay curious, and embrace this changing world of cryptocurrencies.